Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of Selenium training. In previous session we have seen about how to handle web tables, and we have seen few examples on how to get number of columns and number of rows from a web table. So we have seen this as an example. We have seen these columns and the rows, number of columns and rows. So as I said earlier, in this session we are going to see how to get a particular data from the web table and also how to do some math calculations on a web table. So in this session, I'm going to show you how to get this value from the web table. That means the first row and the fourth column value. That means a person existing in the first row and how much due he has. So I'm going to get that value. And also the second exercise or second thing that we are going to do is we are going to get the highest value here from the fourth column. We are going to read all the rows and we are going to traverse through all the values in the column due, and we are going to get the value 100. So that's the exercise that we are going to do now. So these web tables are very important in your automation testing. So just be here. So I'm going to create a new class as usually. So web table example, I'll call it as get data. Okay, I think it already had. Let me delete this. So I'll call web table example get data. So I'm going to use same uh, pre statements. So we already have number of rows in the previous session. So I'll take it from here. So by this I'll get number of rows. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to first exercise is we are going to get the first row and the fourth column, right? So now let's go to our this thing, and let's right click and inspect element, and let me inspect this element. So you have to write your own XPath, right? So first let us select this value and copy XPath and paste it here. So you can see you are getting the value directly. Either you can take it like that, that's very easy process. So it's always getting your first row and the fourth column, right? So let me take it. This time we will be storing it as an web element type. So I'll call it as first member due, okay, is equal to driver dot find element of by dot xpath of, okay, we have declared the web element. Import this web element from OpenQA, and from this value just simply let's print it in system.out.println. I'll call it as first first row fourth column value is, and I'll be giving this value here and dot get text of. Okay, now let's run this program. Before that, let me mention here getting first row fourth column value. Okay, so let us run this now. We can see the Chrome browser is getting launched with the web page that we have just seen. Okay, it's launching. Yes. So you can see the number of records in a web table is 4. That means it is telling us there are 4 records, not 4. You do not consider this header. This is a header, and the records we consider as excluding the header. So it is 4 records, and the first row, fourth column value is $50. So this is a $50, right? Now let's see an example on how to get the maximum value. So our maximum value will be 100. So let's see how to get this 100 value. So we already have number of rows here. So we have to write one for loop for traversing through each and every row. So for int I is equal to 1, int I is equal to 1, I less than. We already have number of rows, right? We'll take this number of rows, comma, I plus plus. And now let's take one string variable and max dollar. I'll say max dollar is equal to. So let's identify identify the element first. Okay, so you have to be some tricky here. So let us inspect this element first. So for example, let's inspect this. Okay, and copy XPath. So you can observe here, it has to incrementally go one by one row. That means the first iteration it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and this will stay constant, right? So this will stay constant. That means this 4 will stay constant because we need fourth column. And but this tr is a row. So these are all the rows. So now it is 1, right? So we are getting a $50, but we have to get the second row, third row, fourth row as well. So that's the reason we have taken a loop here, and we will consider the same XPath, but we will just modify the value of I here. Let me show you how we do that. Driver dot find element of by dot XPath of. So we have written an expression here, and if you observe this expression tr of 1, right? So we are not going to hard code. So whenever the for loop is executed for the first time, we have to send the I value here so that it will be in place of 1 it will be I, and whenever the next loop comes I value will be incremented, and here the value should be 2, and this td of 4 says constant because we are getting a value from column. Now what we simply do is just close the quotes here, and instead of I just place, sorry, instead of 1 place I plus 1. Okay, and then give double quotes here, and then give double quotes at the end. Okay, just close it. So you have to give double quotes here and at the end. One second. I plus 1. Okay, so we are concatenating, right? We have to use plus operator. So we can change this to, okay, string variable, right? So we have to use get text of, and we have to store that value. So now observe here. So observe the first which we have written tr of 1. So this state, this path and this path both are same. But the only change is instead of 1 we are placing I plus 1, so that whenever it comes here it increments. Okay. So now you can observe here. Okay. So till here it is common, this bracket is common, and from again this closing bracket we have placed in a double quotes, and only instead of 1 we have placed I plus 1. Whenever it is iterating it will get the value of that respective row, right? Now let's print this system.out.println current dollar value is. or let's simply print this max dollar and see what we are getting. Okay. Okay, observe here, we got $50. Okay, $50, 51, $100, 50, $50, 51, $100, 50. Right now you can observe we are planning to get the maximum value, right? But we are getting in a form of strings. So if you want to compare this against the other value, you cannot compare it because it's a string value. So we have to remove this dollar from the string. So how do you remove that? It's a simple statement. Just store max dollar is equal to max dollar dot replace of. Okay, you can see here it's our accepting two arguments. The first argument will be the character which you want to replace, and the second argument will be the character which you should replace to. So dot replace of, so I want to replace dollar with empty string, right? So I'm just giving the empty string. Sorry, this is a replace. Now max dollar will be 50, 51, 100, 50. Now this time when we run this program, it will not display as the dollars. So let's run this program. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. We are not printing this, right? Now let's again print this. We forgot to include the print statement. Okay. Now observe. So $50 is replaced with 50, 51, 100, 50. Oh, okay, it is displayed at the end. Okay, that's not an issue. Now what we are going to do is we are going to not print this for now, and we are taking one more variable. We will, this is a float variable, right? You can see these are a decimal point, so we have to declare one float variable. So I'll call it as float max due is equal to, you can store it as this format. You have to initialize it 0.00f, which means a float, and we will take one more value also which will compare whether it is greater than the current value, right? So I'll call it as final max due is equal to 0.00f. Okay, now what we'll do is we need to parse this is a string variable, so we cannot compare, right? We will store this max, we will store it into max due as max due is equal to, how to convert from string to float, float dot parse float of max dot. Okay, so let me write it here clearly. Convert from string to float. Okay, yes, now we are done with conversion. Now we have to compare, right? We have to compare this max due with the latest greatest value. So max due greater than final max due. So we'll do max due, sorry, final max due is equal to max due. So if at all, if it is a greatest, then it's coming to this loop and it's storing into the final max value. Okay, now we can write here one statement, maximum due from the web table is, so we can print this max value. Okay, so let me comment this. Now if you observe this carefully, okay, what we are doing here, we are taking one for loop. So when it comes to the first row, it is storing the value Let me bring this also. See, whenever it is coming for the first row, it will capture this fifth value, and then it will increment here I plus 1 to the 2, and then again it will store into the max dollar. So that's how it works. So whenever it is stored into max dollar, we are replacing dollar with the empty string so that we can convert it easily from this max due dollar to float variable. So we converted into float, and initially we have taken final max due is equal to 0.00f, so that this max due can be compared with final max due. So if the value is greater, for example, if 50 is greater than 51, then it will not come into this side. So when it is greater, then it comes to this for loop, and it always stores the latest value into this final max due. And finally, when the loop breaks, we will get the final max value. So now let's run this program. Okay. Now you can observe the output in the console. Number of rows 4. First row fourth value is 50, and maximum due from the table is, see how much, 100, right? So 100 is displayed here. So that is how these web tables work. So you have to use, whenever you are traversing through each and every column, you have to use these variables, these manual, not hard coded. With using variable, you have to do increment, then it's very easy for you to read and traverse through the rows. Okay, so that's about web tables. This is very important concept. I request you to take some other example here and do practice with this a code, so that it will help you for your automation things in real time. Okay, I'll be pasting this code into the description box, and also I'll be giving the GitHub repository where you can import your project for practice examples. So that's all for now, and thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day.